Hey folks, this video is brought to you by RivianStories.com. Please join us there to get the latest Rivian news, pics, and videos from Rivian owners and fans. We also have t-shirts, hats, and gear guides for your next adventure. Also, if you want to listen to the full episode of today's video segment, just search for Rivian Stories in your favorite podcast app. Lastly, please do like and subscribe. It actually does make a huge difference and helps us keep creating content. All right, guys, thanks for being with me today. We were just together yesterday talking PPF and some other things, which are fun, but then we got an email from Tony last night, so we wanted to get the band back together and just kind of talk through it. Big email for sure. And it was good to hear from him because it had been almost a month, honestly. I looked back just now, and it was March 30th that we heard from him last. Yesterday was April 25th. We always kind of joke that we get a little skittish when that comes along. So it was good to hear from him, especially after a few weeks of speculation and rumors about Ocean Coast. And so some words finally came out. So I have up on the screen here, after the intro and setting it up as supporting the goal of getting more builds out there, more Rivians into owners' hands as quickly as possible, there's a few important details in bullet fashion. So the biggest one here is the adjustment with our interior color options for both T and S. We're prioritizing Black Mountain and Forest Edge interiors for the soonest deliveries, with Ocean Coast deliveries starting later this fall. The light wood in the Ocean Coast is more challenging to produce, so in order to move faster, we're focusing initially on producing with Black Mountain and Forest Edge. What are you guys' high point, top of the head reactions to that first point?
My first reaction is I'm glad they came out and said it, because the rumors had been swirling about Ocean Coast being delayed, and then, you know, people were even getting preliminary buyer's agreements with Ocean Coast Interior, and it's good to finally get something directly from Rivian in that regard, like as a statement.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only thing I can say is it's a shame it took this long. You know, we've mentioned it 100 times how March, April was the start of their big delivery window, their first big delivery window, and here we are, April 25th, when that email came out. Basically the 26th at that point, because it was so end of day. We had a really good idea that the rumors were true, but it's just a shame that they took this long to come out and say it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were hoping for a little bit sooner. And probably as far as like my reaction to that, if I come over here, the people we feel the most badly for are the people that were just contacted within the past few weeks about Ocean Coast saying, nope, we don't know of any delays, you know, straight from guides. And we had a bunch of conflicting reports, but we're on track as far as we know. Here's your PBA, which really gets you excited. And then some of those people contacted last night. That obviously that was going to be redacted. It seems like if that could have been prevented, that would have been worth the effort to not lead those guys on. And I know that my guide, I had posted last week. I wish I had it up here, but I had posted last week that I switched to Forest Edge a week ago based on my guide saying we are prioritizing Black Mountain and FE. And Forest Edge, because, you know, I went straight out and said, what's going on? Tell me. And I mean, if Rivian's listening to this, you need to give my guide, I'll just leave him named my guide for now, a raise, because he is sticking to the talking point script. He is like a Fort Knox with extra information. He didn't break it all. And he just said, the best advice I can give you, if you want to prioritize speed, I know that we're focusing on Black Mountain and Forest Edge. So I took a big leap a week ago. Everyone was, and I agree. People were leaving comments like, are you sure you want to do that after waiting 3.5 years? Why not wait just a little bit more? But I'm kind of just feeling out there, looking at all the evidence or all the rumors and being like, what the heck, going for it. And, you know, to answer that question, I still don't have, I mean, my configuration's still open. I could still switch to Black Mountain. And I don't know, maybe I should now, because Skylar, what just happened to you last night? You want to go ahead and share real quick, jerk?
I did get my preliminary buyer's agreement and signed it within 5 minutes. So,
yep. So I texted a few people today and let them know that, and I said I'm a loser.
And what did they
Yeah.
text back? That they already knew that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
Let's keep going back to the Ocean Coast thing. Tony mentioned there that the Ocean Coast wood is more difficult to produce. Let's talk about that real quick. True, false? Because that was the question that came up in the community almost right away. Is are we gonna buy that or not? What do you guys think?
I think that it's a great thing that they provided some specifics. And that is the type of information that helps people feel more comfortable about this. And with regards to the entire, if it is just the wood trim that is the primary holdup, I know a lot of people have said already, and matter of fact, a lot of people have said for a long time that they love the ability to mix and match the wood. But I would just point out to people that, they are building in batches to get as many vehicles out as quickly as possible. And the standardization is part of what's helping them be able to do that. At some point, it would be great if you could select your wood trim along with interior color and those two weren't tied.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the darn post here. I had it up and now I can't find it anywhere. But where I actually went back to the fact that we had actually brought those pictures. I'll find it, but the wood trim of FE into Ocean Coast and Black Mountain. And I reposted those again last night, but we did that last fall. And of course, everyone loved it then. Everyone loves it now. I don't think it will happen. Jimmy, do you think it'll happen? I know you mentioned that last night. And if we don't think it'll happen, here it is. So Roy says if light wood, yeah, the same question we were just talking about. And I actually posted, I think it was this one. Yep, right here. We asked for this a long time ago. So y'all can click on our Instagram and look at those pictures. But in short, here's what it looks like. And it's pretty killer. I mean, it's awesome. And we had a few good comments from that there. But yeah, Jimmy, do you think it'll happen? If so, or if not, why not?
I'd love to see it happen, but I mean, Skylar's got a great point. Just from the perspective of ease of manufacturing, it won't. But it would be cool.
Just supply, like, would they have enough? I mean, Ocean Coast was a big second. Like, Forest Edge didn't have a lot of orders at all. So how much Forest Edge wood would you have on hand? Probably not enough to meet the demand. And then you have a bunch of other people like, oh, I wish I would have changed my configuration a long time ago. I wouldn't have got Black Mountain. All those kind of things. I just think it's a complexity that Rivian can't afford in 2022. Right. But maybe it's something they'll be able to afford later on. So I don't think it'll happen. I will say that last week I was turning around to grab a bat, but I had mentioned, because we had heard rumors of the wood, and it was mentioned in this. And as far as whether I buy that line of whether it's harder to produce, I'll say I absolutely believe it, 100%. Last week I held up to you guys a wood bat in college. That was my first business. I made wood bats out of my dorm room, about 500 of them. They're made out of northern white ash, and I showed you guys. Actually, I'll just unplug. All right, so I pulled this guy out, and it's even yellowed a ton. Like, it looks yellow here. When I first got it, many years ago, it was that kind of blonde white ash color. And then even where you put like a little bit of the lacquer, like protector on, it's even more yellow. So I would imagine that they're probably putting something on there to protect it. And over time, that's going to amber and darken. And I almost wonder if that's part of it. Like maybe some of the early Ocean Coast, and this is pure speculation. This is, just me thinking that maybe some of those early Ocean Coasts that they built a year or two ago, they're looking at it and in the sun, which will dramatically increase the rate of that ambering. They're like, this is turning yellow. And it's not the original. That's not what the designer had in mind. The designer had white ash, not yellow. And they're like, we need to look back at that. That's just speculation there. The other thing anyone in woodworking knows, and anyone buying baseball bats knows, that you don't buy a black baseball bat because they can paint and stain can hide the imperfection, especially paint, but stain as well. And you're just going to get more variation in a natural wood. So it would be harder to produce to a quality spec because you're going to have more variation in color, in grain, and all that kind of stuff. Where if you put any kind of paint or stain on it, you can make it a lot more uniform. I buy it, is what I'm saying. There's the explanation. Feel free to disagree. Next part here, we are also using more batching of exterior colors and wheel options. Building in a few build combinations reduces complexity with our suppliers and in the plant and allows us to build greater numbers of vehicles. And I'll roll that in with this next one. This updated approach also means we'll see adventure package vehicles rolling off the line alongside launch editions over the next few months. Any kind of color you want to throw on that one?
Well, we already knew that adventures were coming off the line simultaneously as launches. Obviously, we're going to see a lot more. I think in order for those who might be a little bit out of shape over the fact that their priority delivery is now been busted because adventures are getting their trucks before them, it would be nice to see Rivian actually come out with the figure for how many launch editions there are, because I venture to guess we're a lot further through the launch edition deliveries than we know. But I think that might ease some minds.
There will be, and there has been, some consternation about adventure package vehicles rolling out alongside launch editions. However, once again, I do understand where Rivian's coming from here, and not only does it simplify manufacturing, but with regards to how they're getting these vehicles out to delivery centers and matching them with customers, doing these light configurations is helping them from a logistics perspective as well. So it's more than just the manufacturing side, is what I'm saying.
Oh, true. But I mean, I was going to say this earlier and I held off, but I'll say it now. I think if there were a bunch of people in the RS community, and I'm sure in other communities, that switched to Black Mountain or Forest Edge after yesterday's email, and I think they probably would have made that switch sooner had Rivian come out with that information sooner. Therefore, they could have, granted they haven't delivered very many Forest Edge trucks that we're aware of, but they would have possibly been able to deliver even more trucks had they got ahead of that information, got ahead of that news faster than waiting until 6 days left in the month, or 5 days left in the month.
Well, Jimmy, I think that with regards to matching with customers, I feel like, or the way that they're doing the deliveries now and doing the matching, I feel like it may not affect those dates that much for the people that just switched. I mean, I think they'll be pretty much in the same boat.
So that's a great question or point, Skylar. I'm March, April. That's obviously, I'm not hitting my window. I mean, my configuration's still open, even though I did change a week ago. So, yes, Skylar, you leapfrogged me. Don't know how you do it. But my question is like, okay, I remember on the first batch, like the very first deliveries of the T, there were some people that were just beyond their delivery window. I'm thinking of Jazzy and those guys that we knew, you know what I mean? And I am wondering, I mean, the big question I have personally is, and maybe we could just take bets here and we always take predictions, but how far much later will I be now that I've switched to Forest Edge? Will I be driving the Rivian? Let's pick your holiday. Will it be by Memorial Day, by July 4th, by Labor Day, by Thanksgiving, by Christmas, by 2024? I don't know. I'm hopeful that it won't be too much beyond my March, April window, but I just hope right now. Do you guys have anything you want to throw on that? Any predictions?
So I think you'll have it by July 4th. And I hope you have it by Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think both are possible with by July 4th being likely. However, it all depends on how they're doing these exterior color runs, I believe.
Yeah, so that brings us back to that. We've had a lot of people already asking questions about, oh shoot, now which color should I choose? And Tony came out and said, this is, signed by Tony, that they will be contacting us in late May to gauge your preferences. So there might be a hint from Skylar to me, as far as Memorial Day's at the end of May, in late May to gauge and to further inform build combinations, which I would assume is going to be this exterior colors. Any insights or kind of gut feelings on what those colors will be, what those combinations will be? I mean, it's just gut feelings, right? We don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my guess would have to be the more common color options.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they're going to try to build as many vehicles as they can in the most common configurations and be able to get those out and make deliveries happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone sent me a message on RS today, and they've been a really good sport like the whole time because they're like day one pre-order holder and haven't heard much up until now, but Ocean Coast. But of course they were March, April for the truck. And so they switched to Launch Green, Black Mountain, and they were specifically asking about this exterior colors. And I'm like, I know nothing, but Launch Green, I think that you're thumbs up, baby. Like Launch Green should definitely be in the mix, and Black Mountain we know is in the mix. Now he did have black wheels, but I would tend to think that maybe the wheels have a little bit of a lesser impact on that because after all, it is a wheel and not a paint color. But who knows? Could be wrong on that for sure. But we'll have to just wait and see. And as this says, if you're flexible on certain options, you may be able to take delivery sooner. And then the end of this, 2023 or later delivery windows, they ask that you just sit tight. Overall reactions, topics, things that we haven't talked about that we need to talk about.
I would like to see the guides be more empowered.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not my business, but I feel for the Jays in RS that got PVAs for Ocean Coast and then got the rug pulled out from underneath them over this. I think if the guides had more information, they wouldn't have done what they did. And it wasn't, and what they did wasn't out of spite. The guides didn't know, but if the guides were given a little bit more of an idea behind the curtain, I mean, to your point, Kyle, earlier, your guide he's a freaking steel trap.
Yep.
But, empower. Rivian should be empowering their guides. There's some smart folks that you guys have working for you, and why not give them the ability to make those decisions based off of the information that you guys even have. It just...
I totally agree, Jimmy, and to the extent that they can, if that makes sense, because I feel like Rivian as an organization, a manufacturing organization, a logistics organization, is still figuring a lot of this out. And I would just say, yeah, anything that you do know, please equip guides and customer service with that information, because that's going to lead to a better customer experience as well as a better experience for those employees. They get to feel like they're helping customers, answering the real questions that they have, and not just providing, let's call them template responses.
That's a good point, Skylar, especially in the context of rebuilding trust, which is the big theme the past couple months after the pricing deal. And most of the pre-order community can smell the templated answers from like a couple miles away, you know. But sometimes a great answer is, we don't know, we're working on it. You know what I mean? Is there an issue with Ocean Coast? Seems to be an issue. We're not sure exactly what, but we are working on it. Instead of, nope. I mean, you wouldn't be getting a PBA if there was a delay, and that's literally what some people were told. And then, whoops, yeah, yep.
So Rivian coming out with the type of communication that they did today is more along the lines of what they should be doing to rebuild trust. I feel like this communication is a big step in the right direction, and I hope that we continue to see more.
Yeah, amen to that for sure. So Tyler posted a little poll last night, or maybe it was today. Hey, today it was. Are you keeping Ocean Coast or switching to Black Mountain or Forest Edge? And if we switch, do you think we'll maintain our current delivery window? Which, you know, you have to leave that in the comment. But as you can see, about half, not a ton, answered this particular one. So 35 or so are going to keep, and then the other half are going to switch. So
that's pretty interesting to me. Just because I know how eager people are to get their vehicles, and seeing, you know, even 50% that are saying, hey, this is what I want, I'm going to wait, I feel like is impressive.
Yep. A lot of talk about then Forest Edge. Have you seen it in person? If you're asking that question and listening on the podcast or watching on YouTube, definitely head over, because last week when I mentioned that I'm switching to to Forest Edge, geesh, wishful thinking, right? To Forest Edge. I talked a lot about that. And then we also had this, which I posted a long time ago, which has brought up a lot more of that conversation. And so there is an interesting conversation there about Forest Edge, which I'll just leave at that. But we're going to end this one how RJ ended last night with some good news. So you might as well tweet out some good news along with a heavier email. And why don't you guys take it away with what we're seeing here?
So RJ tweeted out a video of what he said is sand mode, which should be coming in a future OTA update. And you know me, I have to analyze things. And, you know, just being kind of an off-road guy, one of the things that really stood out to me is that there's a lot more power going to the rear wheels than there are to the front. And I'd love to hear about why they're doing that. I mean, on the surface, I think I'd want power going equally to front and rear. In a soft substrate like loose sand, but I don't know. It's obviously very rear wheel biased at the moment. There was another thing that I'm not sure if you guys caught though, but RJ actually responded to a customer tweet about what was it? Dog mode and
Gear Guard dash cam and dog mode.
Yes.
Yep. And he said definitely also coming soon. Yeah. So
which both of those things, especially dog mode, has been a huge request from the community. So that's very exciting as well. And I feel like we're just scratching the surface, and OTAs are going to be very, very powerful, over the next 6 to 12 months and even beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool to see like already getting a drive mode update or coming soon, which is cool. I do like the R1S. Thanks for showing us that with the American flag coming off the front. Let's do it. Yeah. Well, thanks RJ for sending that out. That was good news for sure.
Let's geek out here for a minute. Something that I just thought about is where is that flag mounted?
Okay. Let's look here real quick and let's pause. Passenger side. Can you guys see what I'm sharing?
I can. Is it in the window? Is it down around the side mirror?
No,
it's above the side mirror. Man, I think it's almost going through the passenger window.
Is it on the front, attached to the hood somehow?
No,
it's not. Oh, nope, I see it right there. It is. There is a tiny, like, little adhesive. Like, there's something, I can't zoom in, but it looks like there's like a little clip that goes over the window.
Yeah.
Like the flag goes down into a clip that goes over the window, and then you roll the window up, and it's clipped to that window, to the front passenger window. You can see when you guys are off the screen share, you could zoom in later on your full screen, and you'll see what I'm talking about probably.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think I see it right there.
Yeah. All right. Well, baseball games are coming soon to mind. So thanks for coming on here, guys. Let us know in the comments. Write us into Rivian Stories what you guys think. Any questions? What you're feeling? What we can follow up on the next episode to kind of answer your questions. Join us over at rivianstories.com, which is where we're having most of our conversation. Any other last thoughts, guys?
Comms needs to turn on Friday emails.
Tony updates on Friday.
We need some Tony updates, guys. Even if it's no news.
There's
great news.
There's plenty of things to share. I would say there is, even if it's just a little bit of info, it is possible to share a little bit of meaningful info every week.
Yep.
Comms, there's always info. And if you don't feel there is any, then let Tony talk to Skylar, Jimmy, and Kyle for 5 minutes. We'll call it 5 minutes with Tony.
Yep.
And we'll queue up some questions from the community. We'll allow them to upvote questions. And Tony can spend a few short, shallow skips across a few questions, or he can go deep into one. 5 minutes with Tony. Let's get him on here. All right, folks, that's it for this one. Again, catch the entire episode on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app. Until the next video, we'll be hanging out at rivianstories.com, so we hope to see you there.